So here we are, it's the 11th of June 2017 and it's time to get ready for Erzberg. So I'll be representing Motorex with Rex, which I used in the Dakar rally, and we'll be taking on the Iron Road Prologue at Erzberg 2017 with the factory rally bike, and I'm looking forward to it. But first, we've got a lot of work to do. There's a lot of work to do on the bike. It's been well used, so there's a lot to do, and today is the day that we get on with that. So we're going to go to my small garage and get cracking on the bike. Erzberg Rodeo is a 4-day motorcycle event in a huge ore mine in the small town of Eisenerz in Austria. Every year in June, around 2,000 competitors turn up to take on what is known as the Iron Giant, starting on the Thursday with the day of sign-on, fun rides and track viewing time, followed by 2 days of timed prologue runs before the main race on Sunday. The prologue is a 12-kilometre, relatively open, high-speed, timed run from the bottom of the mine to the top, and only the fastest 500 of the 2,000 entrants qualify. For those 500 that do qualify, they get to take on the main hare scramble on the Sunday, and those that don't continue to party. The Sunday race is much more challenging. The course is designed to present the riders with some of the toughest terrain possible on a motorcycle, sometimes not possible. So the things that I need to do today are basically things that I've wanted to do for quite some time and never got round to. And obviously when you go into a big event, you use the bike for practicing on, etc. But when it comes to an event, you want to make sure it's right. So I'm going to go through the whole bike, but the first thing I'm going to do is the suspension linkage. This is something that always gets overlooked on bikes. It's a pain in the butt to get off. You've got to take half of the bike apart to get to it, but it's really important to take it off and check and make sure that the bearings are all good, make sure it's all greased up and cleaned and the seals are in good shape, and it's not going to cause us any problems or collapse on the race or anything like that. So I'm going to go through service the shock linkage on the back of the bike and the swing arm bearings. Cleaning action going on. Then I'm going to move to the front of the bike and do the front forks. The front fork seals need a good clean. Just check the fork stanchions for damage. I'm going to put some neoprenes on, which I like to run, especially in events where I might not have time to clean the fork seals, or I just don't want to get any dirt in the fork seals. So I'm going to run a neoprene. It's forecast rain at Erzberg, so it's probably a smart thing to do. I'm going to look at the engine as well. I'm going to change the oil and filters. I'm going to check the valves and see if there's anything else needs doing in there. Make sure the camshaft and everything's in good shape in the top end of the engine. Obviously put a new air filter on it. We're going to put new tyres and mousses on. We're going for a different type of tyre this time. Instead of using a desert race tyre, which I'm used to, a Michelin desert race, we're going to use a Comp 6 front and a Comp 3 rear. It's a softer tyre, it's not going to last as long, but it should give us more traction on the Iron Rod Prologue over there at the Erzberg. So different mousses, different tyres, but we'll be staying with Michelin. And the last thing to do is just change the brake discs. We're going to put some Moto Master brake discs on and get some spare wheels ready for Erzberg. So some people might say to me, well, why are you using Rex? Well, really we're taking Rex to Erzberg just to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Motorex oils. Obviously, Rex, the factory 450 rally bike, is not the type of bike that you would normally take to Erzberg Rodeo, but it is a bike suitable for the prologue. So we're going to give it a good bash. We're going to go to the prologue and see how we get on Rex. And you know, if we qualified in the top 50, who knows? But it's definitely not the bike to do the Erzberg Rodeo, the main sort of race on the Sunday with. It's obviously very big, very heavy, and it's going to get smashed to pieces taking it over all those rocks and hill climbs and dropping it and letting it roll down the hill. There's too much expensive navigation equipment on it for that. But we're going along and we're going to do a few events on the run up to the main race, and we're just going, the plan is just to have a good time and represent Motorex and help them celebrate 100 years of Motorex oils. I've always had a dream to race Red Bull Romaniacs and Erzberg proper, you know, on a small dirt bike and really have a good go at it. And the opportunity has never arisen to do that, but this year the opportunity came for me to ride Rex in the prologue of Erzberg, and I thought, well, it's a good opportunity to go and experience the event without the pressures of the main race, and just go and have a good time and see how the weekend goes. I mean, without even seeing it or experiencing it before, I have no idea what I'm getting into. So I've heard it's pretty crazy though, so I'm excited to go and check it out.
Road tripping again, 12 hours driving, almost to Austria, just about to come to the border, and pressure's already building because just before leaving the UK I discovered that Rex has to have a little job done on his engine. So when servicing the bike back at home, I discovered that I need to fit a new camshaft in the engine. It's just a really small problem that needs to be fixed, and yeah, he's not had anything done since he was new, so just needs a little fettle. So I got the boys from KTM bringing some parts from the factory, and before I even get started at this event, I've got to like rebuild the top end of the engine here at the event. So already going around my head all the things I need to do when I get there, and I need to change the gearing on the bike and do other things. So, but we're there, we're here, we're just about to cross the border, and everything else is okay. So just keep driving. Gotta do. So nothing's ever easy when you just want to take the camshaft out and then discover that you cannot without dropping the engine down. So here we are, the day before, dropping the engine out of Rex to change the camshaft. Yes. Just make sure everything's right. Finally, camshaft. Yeah, so it's a new camshaft. Oh, hang on. There's a schoolboy error. Need cam chain first. rocker, new rocker and new camshaft. That's it. Together with the tool. This one on the front?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
This is it. Cool.
Thank you. What is Last memories of Dakar. No. I'm riding the KTM factory 450 Rally for Motorex here at the event. Completely the wrong bike for this type of event. I'm here to have a lot of fun and I'm pretty sure we're going to do that. And it was an interesting run. I actually had a pretty good run, but at the second hill climb I went up way too hot, jumped over the end of it and overshot the track and went over a big berm and nearly hit the cameraman, had to get back on again. But it lost at least 5 seconds I would think, but other than that it was a really good clean run. I need to change the gearing on the bike for tomorrow. I struggled pulling 6th gear up the long straight, so I'm going to gear it down a little bit and give it another go tomorrow. But all in all, other than running off the track that one time, I had a really good solid run and it felt really good. But really great fun, good to be here and having a great time.
We are super happy to have Motorex on board this year as a partner as well. And yeah, you brought a really special bike to the Erzberg terrain. Maybe tell us a bit about it.
Yeah, so I started Races to Places 3 years ago now. Been traveling around the world, 170,000 kilometers now, and 6 international cross-country races. So 1 on each continent as I go. Motorex have been a supporter of Races to Places since the concept, since the very early stages, supporting me for product and around the world. And in 2016, I made the decision to do the Dakar Rally as part of Races to Places, and it just happened to be the 100th anniversary of Motorex Oils from Switzerland, and we managed to put together a pretty special program. And those that watched and followed the Dakar saw that I filmed it with my GoPro, and we saw it on Eurosport and Red Bull TV and all over the world. But this is the bike that I used in the Dakar Rally this year. It's a 2017 KTM 450 Rally. A lot of people asking me what CC it is because it looks so big, but it's a 450cc. I love riding it. I'm a big guy, so the big bike suits me. And up there today, this morning, apart from running off the track, it was actually a pretty good run.
Well, the Dakar terrain is, from my point of view, like a complete different story to the Erzberg Rodeo. How did the track feel after touching it the first time today?
You know, I have to say the prologue was actually pretty easy for a rally bike. In the Dakar Rally this year, there was some terrain where I was off pushing the bike, and you're not riding for 10 minutes, you're riding for 10 hours every day, so you know, you have to really look after yourself. But thankfully I didn't find myself pushing on the prologue today, made it up the 2 hills there were, and really had a good run. And the hardest thing here is setting a fast time. You know, it's a straightforward track, but you have to hit every point, otherwise it's no good. And you know, I overshot the second hill climb and ended up off the track and battling to get back on the track. But you know, I didn't drop the bike, I lost some seconds, and I had a lot of fun, and that's the main thing. that's it. That's the end of the second prologue. Didn't run off the track today, so felt positive. A couple of missed gears slowed me down quite a bit. For some reason I just couldn't change up to third out of a corner and I lost a load of time, but you know, it was a good clean run and it felt pretty quick. It was a lot rougher than yesterday, but it'll be interesting to see if it's any quicker than yesterday.
Can't beat a bit of lube. You don't know if he's got a spare, but he'll look.
Factory bike, I think it's grand disappointments.
Dobbiamo perdere la sabbia che sta là dietro.
Okay, so I'm removing the €600 device for tomorrow, just in case Rex decides he needs to take a cartwheel on one of the hills.
And it worked quite well looking at the result from yesterday, or you think you can still do more?
Yeah, yesterday was a good run apart from running off the track one time. Those that have seen my video on YouTube, at the top of the second hill I overshot and ran off the track, and today was much cleaner. I had a really nice clean run, but it wasn't any faster, exactly the same time, so it needed to be 10 seconds faster today to hold on to the front row. I don't know what's going to happen now.
Let's see. Well, and if you're in the second row, no matter, are you just still gonna go for it on Sunday?
Depends what these guys want. I mean, if these guys want me to race, then maybe not race.
Also, er sagt gerade, wenn wir den am Sonntag im Rennen sehen wollen und auch wenn er in der zweiten Reihe steht, dann werden wir vielleicht zum ersten Mal die Motorex Rally Dakar Maschine am Start sehen. Können wir den mal gescheit motivieren, damit er morgen an den Start geht? Lyndon Poskitt! I think they want you to race.
Okay, then I think I'll give it a go.
You for sure have to. Since this is your first time here now, how does it feel like to be next to all these crazy extreme enduro riders?
Yeah, it's a little bit different experience to rally racing, because rally racing, honestly, it's almost like much more serious. Everybody invests a lot more money, a lot more time, and the bikes are like 4 times more money. And it just seems a little bit more serious, even though it's very serious here at the top end of the field. There's so many people here just to have a good time, and I think that's really important. I've seen so many people wandering around in fancy dress, and down on the street ride yesterday, like some crazy things I saw down there, and it's a great experience, and for me this has a really good feel to it, this event.
And we are super happy that you are here and giving us a good time with the Motorex 450 bike. Lyndon. Since we're celebrating 100 years anniversary of Motorex, we are so happy to have you here on board with us. Und dann wollen wir die Bühne frei machen für diesen Mann hier drüben. DJ Scorpio ist in der Haus und wird hier heute für die nötige Partystimmung sorgen.
So here we are on the Sunday morning of Erzberg 2017, and that means it's race day, so it's the main hare scramble today. And while it was always in the back of my mind to give this a go, I think it's a definite now. I'm definitely going to the start line. It's too good an opportunity to come all this way and not race is just not right. So I'm going to get on it today, and I'm going to take the rally bike down to the start line, and I'm going to have as much fun as possible, and that's the aim of the game for me. I'm going to try and get as far as I can. Probably when we get to the single track stuff, I don't want to hold anyone up, so I don't want to block the track or anything, so I'll just assess the situation when I get there. But I'm definitely going to the start line, and we're definitely going to give it a go today. And I've got my healthy breakfast to get me into race mode. Hello GoPro. For today, 62. Hello fella, you coming into the KTM camp? I'm just going to go for a little bicycle ride, just to have a little sneaky peek at the course, see what's going on down there. And saves just standing around thinking about the race ahead, so it's getting close now, 30 minutes, and we're getting our gear on and getting going.
Are you nervous?
Not really nervous, just like want to make sure I get up the big hills and stuff, because like, if you don't, you end up stuck at the bottom. It's going to be a nightmare. I mean, I always love riding the bike, you know, when I get on the bike I just forget about what I'm doing, I just do it, follow the hours, you know, got to do the same as everyone else. I mean, there's always a little bit of nerves, of course, but it's just racing. Do you like my racing pants? These are my tradies from Australia. Had them since the Think Desert race, and I love them.
it's like this. I really don't see the point on my big bike of just getting stuck up there.
Go hard or go home!
Go on! 20 bikes, and everyone was just like, if you waited at the bottom, more people went. And if you didn't wait, you just went one step and had to stop, and it was just like, that's pointless. And it's really narrow, so...
Where's that after this one?
Yeah, just after here, you drop into the trees a little bit, you go through, and then you start going across. Yeah.
Come on!
I can't believe I just did that. Like, that was the plan to get to where the tree started, and it was chaos. I took some video with the helmet camera, but there was bikes just stranded everywhere, and I didn't think it must be a no outside assistance part because there were riders helping each other, and I just thought, man, I'm gonna get stuck, I'm gonna break the bike. It's not fair on everyone else having to pull my bike through, so that was a really clean run up to there, and happy to be here without falling off really, so just dropped the bike in the rocks once, but it was a lot of fun, I enjoyed it. Let the clutch out and it was not there, and I just gassed it and slipped the clutch, and the bike just held past about 10 bikes, just like straight up the steep hill. Dropped it at the top, picked it up, and then just picked my way through. And when I was going across the top, there was no bikes. Everyone was stuck at the start. I just picked my way through. There was a cameraman there and shouted and got the crowds going. It was fun. And then when at the bottom of the rocket ride, I just went like that, and all the crowd was just like. Really good fun, really good fun. And I got to the woods.
Have a good line.
I got to the woods. There were 30 bikes. No way, like everybody was going just 5 meters. Stop. I come back now.
It's okay. The bike is
Good atmosphere. Everyone had fun in the rock section.
Come in.
The best of rally. 4 liegen sollte.
But I want to come back with a true story. Yeah.
Technische Gebrechen und versuchen natürlich.
This year, in favourable weather conditions, still only 25 riders made it to the checkered flag.
Gehen uns ab. Mario Roman.
What's that then? Don't drop the rally bike on your pants. So that's it. At the end of Erzberg 2017, myself and Rex are safe and sound. Qualified 39th on Friday. Thought we would get a front row start, but didn't improve my time for Saturday, so we actually got bumped to the second row for the start of the Hare Scramble, and you know, thanks to all the encouragement from people following and all the kind words on my media. For sure, I always wanted to have a go at the Hare Scramble, but it was definitely the wrong bike to do it on. But I started, and to be honest, I had a really good run. Just dropped the bike once in the rocks at the start, in the rock section, but made it clean all the way through to Bathtub, I think it was. Got a few checkpoints. Then we got to the trees, and it was just too narrow, the ruts and everything. The bike wouldn't have even fitted through, and it wasn't fair to have all the other competitors pulling me through. So here we are, bike's in one piece, I'm in one piece, and we're going to go and have a drink, I think.